Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. So some of you may have seen my video on constructing this junk journal. If you haven't, I'll leave the link down below. And lots of you said that you wanted me to do like a junk journal with me little session, and that's what I'm planning to do today. So I have picked out just a few little items that I might want to use today. I've got my book pages here from a rescued book. Rescued as in these books were from a library. They were sent to the tip and then rescued. And so I will also use this is from from a cereal box. This was one on my vision board last year in 2019, so I might want to write this into my junk journal, and then just a few different bits and pieces that I think I'm going to use today. So I might pull out some more stuff as I go, but just to start off, I've pulled out just a couple of things. I've already done a little bit of journaling in here. I try to come in every day and spend about 15 minutes or so just doing little bits and pieces, writing here and there and that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do now is find a page that I'm going to work on today. Let's see. So there's still lots of pages. Oh, this is a good one. So I might just clip this in place. I have an idea of what I want to do. So I wanted to use this picture. This is from a magazine or a book, I can't remember. And I really like that. So I think I'm going to do something with this. So my idea here, for example, this page, it's got you know, it's like a book page or it's from a magazine, but I can't really journal much here because of the writing. I mean, there's lots of different things that I could do with this page, but I am thinking I want to cover it with something like this and do a little flip out. So that's what I'm going to do today. So let us begin. So basically, I just want to cover this whole thing, and I want to create journaling, a whole page for journaling. I might not do the journaling today, but I'll just see where it takes me. So now I'm going to measure where I want to cut. So this is one of my tea dyed papers, and it didn't really work out well because of the way I was drying it. So I'm just going to use it in my book here. And I need to trim it about there. So this is my extremely blunt trimmer. I have tried sharpening it with aluminum foil, but it's so old and so used that I just, now when I'm doing my cutting, and I still do all of my cutting on this, I just use a scrap page underneath, and that gives me a nice clean cut. So I'll be gluing that in like so, but I want to create a flip, so let's just see. I didn't do this fold very good. I should have hidden this, but maybe this will be my flip. So I'm just going to trim this excess off here. So because I want this area to be, all of this area to be for journaling, I might flip it this way, so then that can maybe become like a little feature or something. So I'm just thinking I might do a little bit of inking on the page before I do anything else. I'll just get another scrap little piece of paper. I'm just going to ink it all up. Just really messily inking it up. So the whole idea of junk journaling is to, in my eyes anyway, use anything really that comes into your life on the day. So for example, movie tickets or receipts or a birthday card or whatever. In this case today, I'm just going to use what I had sort of lying around. I had this as my cutting scrap paper, but I really liked this picture, so that's why I wanted to use it. And this was on my desk too, and I thought it looks pretty cool. I think I might create a tag or something like that. So now I'm just going to see, this part is going to be glued down like this, I'm going to do some sewing around, and I'm going to sew this picture onto here, and I'll make it into a pocket. So first I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to create a pocket right here. This will be my pocket, and then I'll create a tag to go in there, and then this will open up, and then I will have place for journaling or collaging or whatever. I'll see where today's muse takes me, I guess. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and just sew these 3 edges. The alternative is, of course, to glue it, but I will sew it because I really like the look of sewing on pages, and also it will give me some beauty on the inside here. So I'm going to take it to my sewing machine. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have sewn my pocket on, and I've sewn all around, given myself little borders. So that's how it's going to look, and I think it just adds a lot of interest having that zigzag sewing on the page. So now I'm just going to trim off these little bits. I also tend to leave them hanging, but today I'm just going to trim it off just to have it look a little bit neater. So now I have my space for journaling and collaging and whatnot. We'll see. I'll see how I feel. So the whole point is not to overthink it. Just sit down, start your creative practice, have some fun. So I'm just wondering now if I should glue this in first, and then if maybe I should continue on with making a tag, or do I maybe want to do something here? I think I'm just going to glue it in first. So I'm gluing this part. I'm going to pop some glue stick down. And then usually I like to add, I mean, it's not, I don't know, it's a personal thing. I don't trust the glue stick. I don't trust that the glue stick will hold this down for, you know, generations. I mean, it's not my intention to have this around for generations, but I like it to, you know, when I glue something down, I don't want it to be ungluing, you know, when I open this thing next year or something. I don't want things to start falling out. So that's just personal preference. I tend to use 2 different glues. So now I'm going to glue this down, and I want to have it all the way in. I might use my bone folder to burnish all of that down. And now I have a whole page that I can use to write about my day, or, you know, whatever I feel like. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm going to create a tag to go into my little pocket here. So I'm just going to pop this to the side, and let's get some stuff. So I want to use this as my tag. So I just want to see. That's quite a wide pocket, so the tag will be a little bit shorter because the edges, I want to cut these edges off. All right, I might even use this little bit of paper for something. So all right, this is going to be my tag. So the next thing I want to do is, I might leave this as it is, and this can be perhaps I can write, I don't know, I'll see, but I do want to cover this. So I'm just going to find something to cover that with. Okay, I am actually going to use a book page to cover it. I know that a lot of people are appalled by this ripping of books. And I know because I've had comments on my channel. But just letting you know, I have a whole cupboard full of books that were actually sent to be incinerated. A lot of those books were water damaged as well, so I had to sort of, you know, look through really well. I didn't want any mold, you know, growing in them and stuff like that. So they were very old library books that nobody wanted anymore, and that's why I actually don't feel bad ripping them. So just letting you know, if you're going to write a comment about why are you doing that to books, that's why, because they would have been destroyed anyway, so I don't feel bad whatsoever. So I'm just going to cover this card, my tag, with this, and I might, as I'm doing this, I'm thinking what I might do next, and I'm thinking maybe I can do like a little napkin over the top or something like that, just to decorate it. I could have done fabric too, or should have done a fabric tag. I think the major problem is there are so many things that we can do that often we get stuck on what we should do. So I don't know about you guys, but I find that, you know, when I sit down to do my little creative 15-minute practice of junk journaling, I am overwhelmed with all of the possibilities of what I can do, that sometimes I just sit there so overwhelmed that I don't really do anything because I'm not sure where to begin. So having some sort of a plan in mind is the way to go. How cool does this look? So cool. So now I'm just going to cut off the excess. And once again, because I don't trust the glue stick, even though this glue stick that I'm using, the Uhu glue, it's quite good, but I don't know how, you know, how well it's gonna hold up over the years. So I might just stitch around the edge just to make sure that that sort of stays stuck on. And I can see that my tag is wider down the bottom than up the top, but that's fine because we're not here for perfection. So now what I'm going to do, I have this little card and I've just trimmed the corners. So I use this when I'm making my tags. I'm always using this card, so then I have the exact same corners on both sides, and then I just move it along. I think a lot of us do this, but just in case you haven't seen it before, it's a nice little trick or tip. So I might use one of these. This is, I showed this in one of my videos. I just used that corrugated cardboard and I put some paint on it. And now it's giving me lines. And I like this one here, so I'm going to use that on my tag. I think I said I was going to do a napkin, but I would have to wait for that to dry, and I really don't want to. I'm going to glue this on, and I want my lines to be somewhat straight. I think that looks okay. So I can write my little thing on there. And now I just want to think about maybe some other ways that I can embellish this. But first, of course, we must ink the edges. Well, we must not do anything we don't want to do, but I just really like inking the edges, so that's why I'm doing it. What else can I do? I have this thing here. Maybe I can put that on there. Does that look good? And where's my red thing? I'm gonna have this up the top, so I know what I'll do. I want a red heart. So I just went and rummaged through my stuff. I have this red paint swatch thing, so I'm just gonna cut out a heart, try and draw a heart if I can. I'm not very good at this, can you see? I didn't do a very good job, did I? Horrendous. But we're not striving for perfection, so that will just have to do. I hope once I cut it and ink it up and stuff, it will look good. That's all right, that'll do. That's a cute little heart. I do have a punch, but it's not as big as this heart. Maybe I'll doodle on it a little bit using my Sharpie pen. Let's see how it's going to look. It's not standing out as much as I wanted to, so I'll just use a little bit of book page to break it up. And before I stick it all down together, I just want to have a look at how it looks, if I'm happy with it. I'm just gonna go with it. But before I do, I want to do some sewing on this card, so I'll be right back after I finish that. Okay, so here we go. I did some stitching around this piece of paper and also around this the card here. So I don't know what this stitch is called, maybe blanket stitch or something. There's lots of different names for it and I can't remember any of them. So in case you're wondering, I don't have an issue whatsoever of sewing through thick cardstock on my sewing machine. I just have a very basic sewing machine and I use the needle that came with it, so nothing special. But having said that, I do not use it for anything else. I don't sew garments or anything like that. So that's why I'm not too precious with it. I really do look after my sewing machine, but I do sew through everything that I can sew. And I've had it for years and years and years. So now I'm just going to glue this down. And once again, being a freak, I like to make sure, double make sure that nothing's going to go anywhere. So we want that maybe here somewhere. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to add a little bit of this, and because it's a very wide ribbon, I don't think I can, I could loop it through a hole, but I think I'm just going to be really simple and I'm going to staple it on. So okay, that's cool. I wonder if I should cover that with something. What do I have on my table? Oh, I have a little bit of string. Maybe I can do something with this. I should have maybe put that in first. Maybe I can tie a little bow. Let's have a look. Even just that looks cool. Maybe shorten it, but I want to tie a little bow. Ooh, I like it. It's kind of like the present, like a gift from, you know, once you make that decision, whatever it is, to leave your job, to start a new business venture, to renovate the house or to sell the house, you just have to make a decision, because we're always, well, I know myself, I'm very indecisive, so I'm always going back and forth. Should I? Shouldn't I? What if I make a wrong decision? But once you actually decide, then the universe moves on your behalf, or whatever you believe it's, you know. If you believe in God, then God will listen to you, hear your prayers and your decisions and so on. Anyhow, so let's keep going. All right, so this is my card. I really like how it looks. It looks really cute. Tag, I should say, not card. So I'm just going to see how it looks in here, and then I might journal on it. Ooh, I really like this. Oh, how cool does this look? This looks really cool. And then, you know, I can journal in here, journal on my card. I think I'm going to tag. Why do I keep saying card? I'll write this on my tag, and then maybe I can leave this space for journaling, writing, whatever I feel like. I don't think I'll do that today. And maybe I can do some decorating on this side. That's what I'll do. So I'm just quickly going to write this. I'll speed it up. So I'm just going to use my Sharpie again, but I want to move this out of the way so that you can't see all the mess, so that it looks like everything's nice and tidy, but it isn't. It's a farce. All right, so I'm going to copy that. I almost feel like I'm going to ruin it when I start writing, but I'm just going to do it. How should I write? Like this or straight? I'll do it like this. There we go. So I probably could have written larger and, you know, filled it up. I don't know where I saw it. This is not my words. This is, I think, from a book. I can't remember. And I'm pretty sure that I saw this quote or sentence in this book. So often, you know, when I'm reading books or magazines or whatever, when I see little nuggets of inspiration, little nuggets of wisdom that speak to me directly, I will write them on a piece of paper, I'll journal, I'll put them in my journal and so on. So that's where that came from. All right, so that's done. I don't know if I should maybe write something in here. Should I add my own words? I'm just going to add my own little nugget of wisdom. There we go. I just added make the decision and have faith. So that feels like I've filled up that space a little bit. So now I also have this back here to play around with, but I won't do that today. And you know, the universe loves you, or God loves you. So, and here is a little box of all the goodies that are waiting in your life to be fulfilled. Little gifts for you. Here we go. And now over here, I just want to, I'm not going to journal here because of this. I'm just going to embellish it somehow. I'm going to go and have a look at what I have in my stash. So I have this little box of flowers that I made a long time ago. I think you're going to love it. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh. It doesn't look that great actually. So they are just, I was having a lot of fun with magazine pages and you know, adding some spray paints and stuff like that. And I have now this whole box of little flowers, or large flowers rather, and I thought maybe I can add one in here. So I don't think I have a, oh, this one looks good. Ah, that looks good. I'm just going to go with that one. So the thing is, what I want this journal, junk journal, to be, once it's filled, it's going to be massive. It's going to be huge, and I can go through it and I'll be finding all sorts of little treasures and pockets and things to pull out and look at, and that's the whole idea. So I want to write maybe quotes or whatever I feel like writing in it and adding things. So adding pretty things. So that's why I'm going to stick this flower down here, and then I'm just going to leave it as that, I think, but I will, let's just see how I go. Would you guys like a tutorial on these flowers? I don't know if a tutorial really is necessary, but do let me know. I can show you how I did it. I made a whole batch, like I was, you know, I don't know. Tell me if you want to see it. Tell me if you want to do, if you want me to do a tutorial. So here we go. Now, what else can I do here? I think maybe just, let me see. I remember I had this. Does this look good? I think it does. I think that completes the whole look. So I'm just going to use this scrap piece of paper and add my glue. I'm going to take my tag out because I just in case, I don't want to get any glue where it shouldn't go. So, because I'm doing this standing up, it's a lot harder to be precise. So I think I applied a little bit too much glue. So I'm just protecting it underneath. I don't want any glue to seep out because it will seal my little pocket, and it would have gone on my tag. I keep calling it a card. So I might just get rid of the excess this way. This glue, I've spoken about it so many times. It's kind of like Fabri-Tac in the US. It dries very quickly, very quickly. Someone said it's like hot glue in a bottle. I love it. Okay, so I just went through my book of scraps. So I'm wondering, like, would I be overdoing it if I added another flip here? What do you think? I'm gonna do it. Why not? I just feel like playing, you know? And I want to get over that whole, oh, am I going to ruin it if I add this? Why not? So this can be like a little door that opens, and then, I don't know, I can write something in there. So I feel like I might want to maybe embellish this a little bit yeah, I'm just gonna go and do a little bit more rummaging through my stuff, see what I can do there. I just pulled out my little box of rubbish, really. All this stuff is, as I was doing projects, I just shove things in here that I can use, and then they come in handy like this, you know. This will come in handy for sure. So maybe I can have this little lace here. I'm gonna actually sew it on, and it'll be a little pocket. That's what I'll do. So now I think I'll use my washi tape. I'll use this one. This one looks the Wheels of Chance. Let's see. I don't do these flip out pockets with washi tape very often, but I do see other lovely ladies do it, so why shouldn't I? We can do whatever we want in our little journal, junk journal. Is that how you do it? I think that's how you do it. But then I have these sticky bits here, so I need to remove them. I think that's how it's done. I don't think it looks great, but that's okay. It needs a tag. So I'm thinking maybe I can do something like this, so it can be treasure within treasure, you know. You can have a little envelope here with a little charm hanging out. That looks all right. Or maybe I can do one of these vintage cards. I have a video on this, very recent. But maybe I can do this one, Make a Wish. It's a little booklet that I made in that last video. Oh, that was a separate card. Hang on. What about that? Because, yeah, I think I'll go with that because it's got the hearts and the hearts and the hearts. So I think I will go with that. And that's a journaling spot too, so I can write on that as well. And then I think, let's have a look. So we've got the tag that goes in there, like so. And then the flip that opens, like so. This is just an embellishment. Space for writing here, space for writing here. I really like this, and you know, years from now when this journal is full and somewhere on my shelf, I come back to it, maybe I should date this. Maybe I can write a date down here, 10th of January. Should I, will it wreck? No, I'll do it at the back here. So I'll do 10th of January 2020. I have to remember to do that with all of my journaling sessions. I think that looks really cool. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment down below. Do you feel inspired maybe? As I said, I struggle, you know, sometimes when I come in here and then I think, what should I do? What should I do? And, you know, I'm worried about ruining the pages. And I mean, I could have easily just left this blank, but then again, I could keep going. I could keep going and, you know, I could embellish this, and I probably will. I might do that on my next journaling session. I might feel inspired to continue with this spread, or I will start a new one. So the whole idea is to let go and be creative. And I feel like, you know, I've been going through a bit of a rut, and it's been lasting for a while, creative rut, where I feel like, oh, you know, what's the point, and I don't feel inspired and stuff like that. And then I started doing this, and I find that it has sparked my creativity, just being creative. That's the only way, I guess. Just, you know, sit down, do a little bit of something for a little bit of time, and you know what, looking at this, I personally really like it, and it makes me feel good. So, and now when I close my journal and I have this little thing sticking out here, and I think by the end of this journal I will have bits and pieces sticking out everywhere. That's my vision for this journal. So I think once it's finished, I am going to flip through. This isn't my favorite page, but anyway, so I will do a flip through of all of the things that I've done. But I think that concludes today's session. Once again, thank you so much, guys, for being here with me today. I hope you enjoyed this little journal with me session. I hope you like the final look, and I will see you in my next video.